So I don't know if you guys saw the last video. I just wanted to give you guys a little bit of an update about just the post-crash and a little bit about what I learned about this whole process so far. First off, I'm live. I didn't break anything. It only hurts when I breathe or laugh, sometimes talk. But otherwise, healing up okay, already feeling a little bit better, but I probably won't be on the bike for at least another week. I want to thank you guys for sharing your sympathy. I really appreciate it. It's a hard video to edit, and I really debated about whether posting or not, but hey, it's a teachable moment, right? So there were a lot of questions in the comments about what tire pressure I was running and why I was only using one studded tire. The tires themselves were pretty low. I'd say about 4 to 3 PSI. So I don't think it was really a tire pressure problem. And as to why I only ran one studded tire, just to put this entire thing into context, this is only my second year of living in a place that gets actual winter. So, I mean, you don't know what you don't know. I'm still learning about this whole winter cycling thing, or this real winter cycling thing, and a lot of these videos are about the process of figuring out what actually works for me. I'm not gonna stand up here and pretend to be an expert. I'm just figuring it out. And asking around last year with some locals that have lived here for a while about whether you needed studded tires or not. Some people said you didn't need them at all. Some people said if you're gonna get them, and because they are expensive, if you were gonna stud a tire, definitely stud the front one, because that tends to be the least stable. And so that's what we did, because stud tires are not cheap. And I think what I did was something pretty realistic as to how some people would approach this problem. If you're looking at a studded fat tire that runs $200 MSRP, if you can save a whole $200, you're probably gonna try to do it, right? So we had one pair to review, and I decided to split it up between 2 bikes and see if you could get by with just that. And clearly, as evidenced by the video, not the case. I'm gonna swap the tires around again and just have a fully studded, at least one fully studded bike. So lesson number 1, studding just one tire, not as effective as studding both. So if you have the money, stud both. I mean, it's definitely cheaper than a visit to the hospital, which thankfully I didn't have to do. I don't think I punctured anything, at least I hope not. It's a cost that you have to weigh. It's a bummer. It just adds up. One bike, $400 worth of studded fat tire. And then if you and your partner ride, then that's almost like $1,000 just on tires alone that you're going to use for such a narrow window of time. And I'm not saying that they're not worth it, because clearly if it saves you a trip to the hospital, then they're definitely worth it, but still a big chunk of change. So lesson number 2 is I'm glad I wore my helmet. Where I was planning to fish was actually not very far, and I debated for a hot second about, well, it's not that far, I'm going to be mostly fishing and not riding. Maybe I can just go out with just a beanie cap. Thankfully, I had the helmet. I don't think I slapped my head on the ground, but it definitely could have gone a lot worse. So I think in the future, at least for us personally, you can wear a helmet if you choose to. It's all personal choice. But for me, I think during the winter, when there's any like snow or slush or ice, probably definitely gonna wear the helmet. So those were the 2 big lessons. I might do another studded fat tire mounting video. A lot of you guys suggested tricks like getting a ratchet or a rope or something and wrapping it around the entire diameter of the tire to kind of push the beads out to the sidewall. So I'll see if that works. Felix Dupree, a viewer of the channel, sent us some funds to get an air compressor, so hopefully it'll make that job a lot easier. So we finally have an air compressor for the show, which is awesome because there are a ton of tires I want to test, but I've been kind of lagging on that just because of how much of a pain in the butt it is to set up tires tubeless without a compressor. There were lots of comments and questions. I hope I answered most of them, giving you guys an update on post-crash status. So what that means for the channel is probably less riding videos, at least for the next 2 weeks, but a lot of gear review videos. And in fact, right after this, I'm going to film my review of the Kona Rove NRB DL, so look for that either later today or tomorrow. So if you like this content, consider supporting the channel via the PayPal links or the Patreon link. And as always, keep the studded side down.